The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Kia ora, I'm Alex Casey, senior writer at The Spin-off. We wouldn't exist without the ongoing support of our generous members. If you're able to, you can make a donation at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Oh, kia ora, New Zealand, the whole of Aotearoa, who I assume are listening to this
and any
podcast.
international listeners as well. I mean, who's to say the appeal of this podcast?
It has no endpoint. And welcome to the Real Pod, RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under the Covers.
With
Eli?
and Chris from the Male Gaze.
Yeah. Is it Eli and Chris or is it Chris and Eli?
Chris and Eli.
Alphabetical Chris and Eli.
Chris and
right?
Eli, alphabetical, it's Fiera.
Anyway, wow.
Here
We're
we
so glad.
are, another episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, and we're enjoying it. We're loving it, and it's rolling along.
Here's what I'll say about this season. Every week I'm like, oh, the makeover is my favorite episode. But previously I was like, Snatch Game, the girl band. There's no hotel challenge. We haven't had a goddamn improv challenge.
We haven't had like a 4-hour like Grey's Anatomy parody.
They haven't had to do stand-up in a room with no audience.
Maybe they're like, we can't afford a green screen, so that's gone.
That's gone.
That's probably
That's it.
straight up what's
They
happened.
only had 2 rooms in that studio, right?
Yeah, there's no green screen, which
Yeah.
honestly, I love.
I love it too.
I love it too.
The makeover truly is always wholesome, always beautiful, and this was no. Well, I guess maybe we should start with the mini game.
Yeah, so it's like they come back into the workroom and they're kind of reflecting on the fact that etc. is gone. And Maxie does bring up a really interesting point that it was the oldest queen in the competition,
youngest queen.
taking out the youngest queen.
Yeah,
and it's a nice sort of like framework for the episode in a weird way because I'm like, I don't know, I mean, you've all watched the episodes. We're kind of like recapping it. Like, if you're listening to this blow by blow, then we give you a spoiler.
If you're pausing the episode,
like you're absolutely doing this the wrong way.
Yeah, Maxie's shield goes frickin' home.
Yeah,
man.
she's going
deal
like,
with it.
Just drop
she's
it.
Gone.
And so it's just nice to kind of remind myself of Maxie and at the top, and just be like, yeah, she's been doing this for years.
46 years old, she said. I
She's
couldn't believe it.
That's an icon.
She's got a lot of pip, a lot of pizzazz.
Well, at 46, I mean, that's
not that old.
It's not that old.
We're pretty much there.
Don't say that. So they're all kind of reflecting. And anyway, so then it is like a mini challenge time, and it's all the men, just like all the pit crew, like new pit crew.
It's the top 10 gays of Instagram Auckland.
That's what it feels like.
They literally, because please welcome to the stage my personal trainer, Levi Cox.
And what an honour to be able to see him represented.
up.
To see actually personal trainers represented.
Yeah, thank God, finally.
On our screens.
Their time in the sun.
It's their time.
And he did get cast via Instagram DM, he told me.
I felt like, they were like, they opened up like Grindr and would have just like messaged people, but were they just searching? I mean, I guess it's like it just shows you the gay network.
Oh yeah,
on Instagram, and like how that you can just like find one, find the other, then find the next one, and then suddenly
they'll
you've got
just
like
be
a cast.
tagged in each other's photos.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, and I felt like I sort of recognized everyone, and I was sort of deeply watching Keita and Electra's face to be like, who has hooked up with who?
Yeah, who's
and I felt like Electra was playing off that she hadn't hooked up with like one or two of them. Like I got that vibe.
I felt like we got it in the reading challenge last week when Electra walked up to Sean, who's kind of getting a lot of attention on Instagram, and she was like, "Hey, man."
Yeah, I love that.
I was like, "There's something there." Anyway, this is the silliest game, and it goes on for fully
So
45
long.
minutes.
And actually, because I watched it twice, because yes, we're doing reresearch.
Yeah, we work hard.
We work hard
to
for this
bring you the
podcast, and
pod.
honestly, one episode goes in, and it actually falls out of my ear, like an hour later. Like it's like in this drag race like fever dream of like America and the UK.
Oh, and especially because it's something that I flick on when I'm doing anything out. Like
Yes.
at the moment, season 7, I just like if I need some background noise, I pop it on.
So I was watching it twice. And I was like, what are the rules of this? I could not work out the rules of the game. They all got to go. Oh, you explain
They get
it.
3 clues. per boy. Each boy has a different animal in his pants.
And each queen gets their own boy.
No, I think they all guessed all the boys.
But then once they're
I think if you can get
Oh,
off
they
the
all
first
went
clue,
down the
you
line
get
and
more
get-
points.
it honestly, I was like, these rules need to be explained clearer.
Also, there was a huge diversity in the way these underwear were constructed because for some of it was like a soft toy had just been hot glued to the front.
Yes.
For the shark, they made full shark underpants, it looked like.
Yes, and then the flamingo,
Oh, yeah.
like had the wings on the side.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very and
Shout out to whoever designed this.
yeah, actually, and I thought they were really well. I did think they were quite well constructed.
I did think so as well.
and
And we saw someone's full pubes.
that's actually my favorite part of the episode. Is he's pulling it down, and everyone's like, "Oh,
It's
Oh?
it's under getting
Oh?
dragged down.
that's so weird."
It was full noise.
And who wins that?
Maxi Shield.
But it doesn't really.
Congratulations, Maxi
actually.
Shield.
But it doesn't really matter.
Biggest win of the season.
Because I wouldn't actually say I knew what the rules were.
I wouldn't say there was skill involved.
No. I always feel bad for the pit crew. Would you do pit crew work? It feels like a part of the show that should no longer
Should fade away.
but it's still
fade
always
away.
kind of there, and everyone's like, "Oh, hello," and it's like these sort of gratuitous shots of like asses and bulges, and it's
Yeah.
like so weird.
But of course I do pit crew if I was asked.
And you could do it.
As a way to kind of, at high school me was a very skinny, pimply boy, and to kind of like,
Yes, it's just like full circle.
to be like, hey, 16-year-old, one day you're going to be
on the pit crew, and you don't know what that means.
Freezing studio in your underwear, having a miserable time,
And
not
being-
allowed to talk.
And I don't think being paid. That's,
I don't think
that's
so.
my hunch.
No, they were paid. I don't know the full amount.
You need to. Well, so your personal trainer is one of the pit crew in
Yeah.
this episode. The extended pit crew family.
Yeah.
Because there's obviously like you have like your core pit crew members, and then you have extended pit crew.
The Pitomatic universe.
And the pit members.
Barely a pun.
And so you need to find out how much they get paid, but that would be,
I don't think I could say it on the pod. But I
No.
know it was definitely like worth enough that he took a full day off personal training, which is,
That's huge.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, we
massive.
could do the math right now.
Yeah.
But we won't because we are
Dumb.
stupid and we just don't know math. So then,
Then more hot boys
then more
come
hot boys,
in.
more shitless men come in. And for a long time, I was watching the episode being like, are these the same guys? And I was like, oh no, they're different. And I was like, wow, what a day on set at the Drag Race. Like,
Yeah.
literally like 12 pit crew members and then another 6.
It must be exhilarating for people who are who have been in that room by themselves, just with each other for so long, Yeah. So Maxi lines up the girls with their chosen boy from the Falcons rugby team. Now, what I will say about all these boys, they're all sweethearts.
They're all so sweet.
amazing.
It's an interesting episode as well because sometimes it's like family members or like sometimes it's like another kind of community. But this one's like, this is a like queer community.
Yeah.
But they also are an interesting community because they're like, as we discover throughout the episode, like have their own relationship with like masculinity and like being gay presenting. And there's some like really interesting conversations that I'm always very appreciative of. And once again, it's like kind of held by like Electra, who honestly is like
amazing.
the star of the show.
Right, producing the show.
And I felt like earlier on in this podcast, like I gave her some critique, which was like, I felt like I didn't know who she was as a drag artist when she's in drag.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like out of all of them now,
I know
know
her
her
so
the
well.
most. I'm like,
It's
oh, go off,
amazing.
girl. Like, you look amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, whereas someone like Karen, it's like, I know her as like I could draw a picture of her,
Yeah.
but I don't really like, but when you get the mic in her hand or when she gets to talk, you're like, who?
She's
Are
almost
you?
too clean and polished in a way, which is like, I would just want to know a bit more about what you actually find funny or
Yes.
actually care about, or
So then they kind of like mess around and put each other in heels and try each other in corsets, but it's all sort of like just a bit of fun.
Bit of fun.
Because the next day it's like, we've got like 2 hours to like turn out some looks.
no. And then Art is taken too long to get her boy Jonah into drag, and everyone's making fun of her.
I did appreciate what Electra actually had to say about like the whole point of this challenge is one, like to make over someone, but two, like you want to give them that experience of their first time in drag
over to them.
And I feel like that's where a lot of the critiques I think maybe we're missing from the judges, but like you could obviously see that in the workroom of being like, and I feel like that should be the challenge as well. Like, there's a part of me that wants like Ru behind the mirrors, like watching with like a notepad, making notes and scribbling them down,
and
and
then
being
there's a reveal at
and
the
be like,
end.
and then be like, you're like that would be a gag to be like, you were mean in the workroom. And I felt like but like seeing the way that some of those queens like cared for them, I'm like, well, you've given them that experience of being in drag for the first time, and that's a very generous gift. I think the main critiques in this episode could come down to two things. Like, and they sort of talk about it while they're waiting backstage. Is it a drag family resemblance, or is it like a carbon copy of your drag look?
Yeah.
And here's my feeling about this all. I reckon the next time that they do a makeover challenge, it should just be make over this person and turn them into drag.
Put them in a fun
because
drag look, yeah.
Because the critique of like they don't really look like, it's so arbitrary of like where's the line? I don't understand.
And it feels like they pick and choose. Sometimes it's good to look exactly the same, and sometimes it isn't.
Who were your favourites? What were your favourite looks?
Keita was the number one, and she met the challenge either way because the looks were different enough, but they looked the same. The makeup was amazing, and to turn Carl, who looks completely different from Keita, it was gorgeous.
And it was a fun concept, like sort of spots and stripes, and they look like sisters. They like kind of hot evil villains.
I would put Art in second place.
Yeah, that's interesting. I liked Art's look. My only issue with it is that for me, it doesn't really say a lot about Art.
Yeah, true.
It says more about like Priscilla, and it's like costumes, because those are like the costumes of Priscilla. And so it's so beautiful and so fun to see that nod to Priscilla, and like there's not many that happen,
of course.
But I don't get Art
from it in terms of who Art is this kind of.
It's just so interesting because it's like the Priscilla costumes are the Priscilla costumes. It's kind of like dressing up as Dame Edna, or you know what I mean?
Yes, totally.
Where you're like, yeah, but that's someone else's thing. What's your thing?
Yeah, exactly.
So, what was your favorite look on the runway?
Keita and amphetamine?
Amphetamine.
Yeah, ketamine and amphetamine.
Ditto.
Stunning.
Well, as you all know, Eli and I are by no means drag experts, and our opinions are actually, they mean
worthless.
nothing. They're actually
flimsy
worthless.
Little pieces of shit.
Which is why we always like to bring in a guest. And unfortunately, our guest this week is stuck in Melbourne.
Trapped in Melbourne.
But that actually, because of the power of technology, hasn't stopped us from bringing them over to have a conversation with us today. Please welcome to your ears, Bionica.
Kia ora e hos, how are we going?
So good and so blessed to have you with us. We're so sorry you can't be here in studio, but
I'm so jealous you get to sit together in person. I haven't left the bed or this house in I can't even remember.
Were you just in Melbourne for gigs? What was going on?
Well, I came to visit my friends because I used to live here. For 12 years I lived here. And so I was like, I'll come see everyone. It'll be such a great time. And then a week into it, there's a lockdown. So
you're like, can I keep staying?
Well, I mean, I found a job now, so I'm not leaving.
Oh my God, congrats.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you're
so
just
I may as well make this work for me.
So, Bionica, you are one, like, very much no drag, but two, specifically for this show, an expert on drag reality TV, because you were
top three, right?
And
House of Drag season 2,
and one of my favorite.
Top four. I didn't make the last episode, unfortunately. But to be fair, I'm just glad they brought me back.
And
you're a returning queen,
and knows how to make memorable reality TV, like
the duck.
The duck.
We got to talk about the duck.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, we're beating around the bush, but the duck. The duck was iconic. I can't lie.
If you just search, I reckon if you just search
duck gifts,
Bionica duck smoking, and you'll find it.
Yeah,
you'll find it. Oh God.
So, how has this? Okay, well, how was this week's episode of Drag Race for you? I want your hot takes, because we've only got you for a short while, so let's just fire straight into it. And I want
let's go straight into
Bionica's hot takes on Drag Race.
Mm-hmm.
I made a list, I'm not going to lie.
I love
it.
Right.
I worked as a PA on this season, so I had to make a list so I would be like, what was actually shown, so I don't get in trouble with World of Wonder for being all like, "This is what really happened."
Yeah, true. Keep
you
it
know.
professional. Don't get yourself fined or
Don't
sued.
I can't afford that lawsuit. Otherwise, I'd tell everyone if I could afford.
And it will be your lawsuit. We will absolutely step away from it.
It will be. We will not take any responsibility.
Definitely agree. Keita in the top. Those
Yeah.
looks were iconic, and I'm so proud of her because I think she's bringing like a level of polished camp that like hasn't been shown in Drag Race before, which
Agree.
is like what is colloquially known for like Aussie New Zealand drag is what Keita's representing. I think Karen's trying to be like Keita, but she doesn't have like I'm bored watching Karen. Do you know what I mean? Like ironically, I feel like I'm in a K-hole when she's on the screen. I'm like, what's happening here?
I thought her paint on her drag sister was so beautiful.
Oh
Like,
yes.
it's-
Oh, Keita, you mean?
On Keita,
Oh,
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
she just
Incredible.
looked incredible.
And
Like,
because Carl's face is
Carl's got a very masculine face. Like she
Yeah.
did a beautiful job.
but that's the great thing about, like, because Keita does, like, drag.
Yeah,
You know, like,
Keita's
she's...
like, I'm not here to fuck around. Like,
no,
I'm
she's
gonna put
got,
on
like,
all
big,
the makeup.
like, you know, it's
Yeah.
full on. And it kind of worked so well on Carl's face.
in what world do the receptionist and Karen from finance wear the exact same dress to work? Let's be real.
Like, if you're gonna character build a woman from finance, like, surely you would not do. I don't know. I just was really bored by that look, and I think it's a big cop out as well, wearing glasses over your drag face. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is just, it's a bit like if you want to show like your family resemblance or whatnot, like you wouldn't block off the thing they're judging you on.
Sisters actually aren't born with the same glasses.
Yes, like, funnily enough.
Okay, what else have we got in there? What else are your hot takes?
Hot takes, apart from Karen just being a bitch to Art, which was like, interesting to watch. I think the humor is getting lost in translation. Because I feel like there's a certain level of like ribbing that like we do as like Kiwis or Aussies. And I think that we come across as a people a lot more harsh than like intended. If you don't,
I agree.
You know what I
I
mean?
think-
Like if you don't understand, like a lot of people think Australians are assholes, but they're not. They're just like taking the piss, pulling your boob, as they say here. Try to blend in so they don't deport me.
I think it's edited in the way with the sounds and maybe some of the shots where it feels like this is full shade, but actually that's just,
And because
it's just
Drag
like-
Race, the like episodes of Drag Race always look for like shade to build story, and like the Australian kind of like like how that translates to like a New Zealand and then like also an American audience is like just like bullying, but it's not. They're just
Yeah.
kind of like sort of having
It's
a go
just
at each other.
benign drag shade getting read as like bullying, and then you've got all of these people like watching Drag Race being like, "Oh my god, this season's so mean," and I was like, I hope you never meet a drag queen in real life because you'll be so disappointed. Like, oh my god.
Okay, so I'm loving these. I just keep firing them through. I'm loving this.
yeah, keep firing your list through.
I was like big fan of a list.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
BuzzFeed.
Hang on. Oh, yeah. Electra's costume looked eerily familiar, but I can't put my finger on where I've seen it before.
Oh, okay,
I know
I can-
where it's from.
I can absolutely put my finger on it.
It's
so.
from the theatrical show Pleasure
Pleasure
Dome.
Dome.
That she
with
did
Lucy
choreograph,
Lawless.
right?
Yes, and she was...
I'm not gonna. One night at House of Drag, she had the entire show like filmed and recorded and saved on her laptop, and she made us watch it.
Oh, stunning. I love that.
So for those listeners who don't know, Pleasure Dome was this musical that Lucy Lawless was in. It was this kind of massive arena, sort of spectacular.
They built a street that you went to get your food and drinks before you went into the show.
It's like going to New York.
And several music videos were filmed on that street after Pleasure Dome closed.
Amazing. And though the costume that Electra was wearing was one of her costumes, and so I've seen that outfit on a number of other drag queens.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know
Wednesday
what?
Blaisdell,
The
for
world
instance?
is burning. Let's recycle.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so
right.
too.
I guess. Yeah. Like, yeah, it worked for her. I guess sustainability.
Exactly.
Totally.
The
Total
theme,
for that.
sustainability.
And the paint was
Total for
different
that.
than it was in Pleasure Dome. You
Yes,
know?
they
She
were
went
not
with the full
purple.
alien look, and the guns were
Yes.
not in Pleasure Dome.
No, I appreciated the color base. I wish that she did purple tights as well, because
Yes.
rewatching it back, it annoyed me. I was like,
Yes.
oh, if you're gonna do color, commit to it.
Yes. How do you feel about Maxie going home this week?
I think based on the lip sync, it is fair. Because I do think that Scarlett did outperform But Maxi did like pull up a fight. I do enjoy Maxi as a lip sync artist, and I think Maxi goes to show that you don't have to do like 1,000 different like
Agreed.
tricks to lip sync well, which is great. But it's just sad because she very much was like the heart and soul.
Yeah, I
If,
agree.
like Anita was like the manic energy, like Maxi felt like she was grounding the girls more.
And I thought her looks were great.
It was good.
They look
I
good.
loved them. And of all
Yeah.
of them, the most of like a family resemblance in this way.
They do look like two
Literally.
sisters.
Because they looked related, but they kind of like, it was this sort of, but they're kind of in their matching little looks, but they were identical, but like different colors, but I don't know, like, and
It just
Maxie like
worked
painted her
visually for
face
me.
versus like
Yeah.
put her drag face on another
Someone
queen.
else. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this, I felt like her look could have made her safe.
What do you think about?
I-
So
yeah.
Art's done a bunch of tweets now about how, like the costume themes you were told being different and blah 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 being
She's-
criticized. Is she in the
She's
right or the
correct. She is correct.
wrong? Ooh, you heard it straight from the PA.
What was the,
Oh my god, watch Amanda Payne sue me. No.
what did Aunt tweet?
That they were told the category was like House of Blank, and you were creating a drag family look, not family resemblance as such. So for her, she does a Priscilla show all the time, and so
Yeah.
those Priscilla
She
looks
literally, her and Filmer Box have a festival every year called Broken Heel,
Yes.
where they filmed Priscilla. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very upset that like I think a metaphor for this like entire show is Michelle and Rue not understanding a Priscilla reference properly and understanding the chosen family principles. And like celebrating the Priscilla look the week before from a certain person who I'm gonna like just not say the name of.
Yeah.
And then for this, I just didn't understand it. I was like, they clearly look like they're from the same family. Like, it's one of the most, like, iconic visuals from that film. And I think, as well, it just brings, like, a really beautiful note of, like, chosen family and what drag's meant to be about instead of literally just doing, like, a carbon copy, which is, like, I guess, if that's what they want, that's all they wanted, really, for this challenge.
That's
So I
a
guess,
really
you know-
interesting way of looking at it, actually, because if we do think about like drag families, like they are like diverse in terms of their makeup. Like it's not like
Yeah.
everyone looks
The
exactly
same.
the same. It's like you touch on elements that
Yeah.
they sort of feel like in the same kind of world,
Yeah.
cinematic universe, but aren't like, oh, you're all wearing the same outfit. Which I felt like there was a bit of everyone just kind of matching today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like
Yeah.
even though Karen and I'd have forgotten the
Debbie
Debbie
from
from
Reception.
Accountant. Like, even though they were wearing like slightly different tailored looks, it was like the exact same outfit.
Yeah.
They kind
It
of
was
both
just-
looked like they were in the chorus of like a musical of like 9 to 5 together or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't, I don't know. It was very bland. Part of me really wishes that Keita put Carl in Anita drag though. Just to recycle one of the costumes. That would have been amazing.
That would have been iconic.
That would have been so good.
If
That
Anita
would have
just
been
left her
iconic.
an outfit.
So what's your feeling on the season as a whole?
I'm disappointed that like the strength of the queens is kind of getting like not as much noticed as like production errors or just like the level of quality and care, I guess,
Hard out.
with that. But like again, of course I wanted more brown people there, but I say this about every single show. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's like watching it after being there in real life, I'm just really proud of all of them because like the immense pressure, like it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
How
There were like
stressed.
no days off, right?
No days off, like, and just the amount of time they got given to present like that caliber of drag. I was told them all of them when they got there. I was like, I'm so proud that like you're all here
Yeah.
to represent. I mean,
The caliber of drag is amazing.
caliber of drag is insane and is truly representative of what we can do down here. And it's not like, I just wish. I didn't think that Reese would be my favorite judge, but he is because he's the only one that understands what's going on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
It's a really interesting take on that, and it almost like highlights the fact that you're right. Like a lot of the critique of the show is on like the production of the show. Like that seems to be where the online conversation is.
it's on the production, it's on like the judges' opinions, or it's on like decisions that clear. Like it is like Art coming back was not her decision.
No.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
totally.
mean? Like
and of course,
sending-
she's not gonna say no.
Exactly.
But and
like,
that comes down to like, are you why are you watching the show then? And not in terms of you, Bionica, in terms of
no, I know. Yeah.
in terms of I don't know this 14-year-old I'm talking to on Twitter. It's
Yeah.
like, why are you consuming it then? Is it because you want to enjoy the reality show, or like because you want to appreciate the drag artistry? In which case, like, there are other reality TV shows. If you want to like pull apart a reality TV show, like go watch The Amazing Race
Literally.
or something else. But like if you're there to kind of support and watch and kind of like explore drag and learn about like gender and sexuality and all that kind of stuff, then like of course it's the show to watch. But like don't come in critiques being like their mics are off in the studio. Like it's so it's so boring.
Yeah.
It is. And it's just like the level of mental health issues that every Drag Race queen has experienced post-filming is disgusting. It's ridiculous. And I just don't understand how you can watch a show like this about like vulnerable queer artists, like showing you their art and being all happy and da-da-da-da, and then just be like, oh, I'll message them and tell them to like, I just,
It's wild.
That's a weird...
Cognitive dissonance.
It's almost like we
Weird.
need to be like, okay, a year off and everyone like... We want
Refresh,
you to, refresh.
reset.
We all
Well,
want you to
that
think
is-
about how much you've watched of the show and just like have a wee breath, and then we'll come back and we'll give it to you. And this time we want you to appreciate it a bit more.
Yeah.
Literally, just like think about your attitude. I think there does need to be a break between Drag Race, so there's just too much.
I know. I
been
can't believe
non-stop.
All Stars 6 is coming so soon. It makes me want to rip my skin off.
I know! There was a phase before All Stars 2 came out that I'm like, oh my god, new Drag Race, this is the most exciting thing. And then now I'm like, who gives a shit? Really? Like,
An amazing,
I don't.
an amazing hot take on this: a Drag Race recap podcast. Well, there goes your job.
Like, I just-
Amazing.
No. New seasons. Drag Race Down Under, watch. Drag Race España, go hard. It's just, I don't need another All Stars.
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
yet.
Agree.
Unless
Or if
they're going to
you
put
are,
Anita
make it like a
Wiglet on
British.
it.
I would love Anita Wiglet to meet any of the UK drag queens.
Yes.
No.
It's an,
Yeah.
I just want a big like mash-up universe where they all go into the different countries and like compete. We just like
Yeah.
no more queens. We just got what we've got and we just like muddle them all around
It's like a Thunderdome of drag. And
Yeah.
just, like, send them all in.
with
Oh, yes.
knives.
Do you remember
Knives.
World Idol when it was like Kelly Clarkson versus Guy Sebastian and then some guy from Norway won? An
Yeah.
iconic
Yes.
moment.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, Bionica, thank you so much for joining us. It was so short and sweet,
Thank
but
you so much for having me. It's
our
been nice to
pleasure.
get like, it's nice to get your opinions out to the world, to be honest. I've been like just talking shit about the show to my mum for the past week.
And if people want to follow you, Bionica, where can they follow you?
I am Bionica Cunty Cunt on Twitter, but with V's instead of U's.
Oh, yes.
And then Bionica on Instagram.
Incredible.
Yes.
Excellent. And please
Don't
look
follow
up
me on
that
Facebook,
duck
it's just a
gif.
lot of politics.
Yeah, and if there's one
yeah,
thing you
look-
can do, please look up that duck gif of Bionica smoking a cigarette as a duck. It's
Yeah, look,
one of my favorites.
it's on the old Instagram. It's there.
Oh,
I'm
brilliant.
just, I'm trying to monetize that at the moment. I was like, wait, why not weaponize my trauma for my own good?
Yes.
Someone should get it tattooed.
Absolutely.
Surely someone out there should get that tattooed.
If someone gets that tattooed on them, I will buy them a drink whenever I see them.
Oh.
Like, whatever they want.
A
whenever
drink
I
is
see
a
them.
lot less money than a tattoo, but it still is a nice.
Whenever she sees
Oh
it.
wow,
Forever.
oh, that is
Yeah.
amazing! Wow,
That is
okay.
amazing.
Well,
I think I've given my best friend a few too many ideas now.
Well, sending you much love and support in your little lockdown, and I'm glad
Thank you, my angels.
I'm glad you got a job in Melbourne. To be honest.
Yeah.
I know. I did not. I'm not gonna lie. Didn't think it was gonna be as easy, but
Nailed it.
But I guess I'm too good.
I love you both. Have a beautiful rest of your
Love you
day,
too.
and enjoy being able to walk outside.
Well,
Thank you.
we'll be grateful. We promise.
Bye.
Bye.
What
Oh.
an angel.
So good.
Kia ora, my name's Duncan Grieve, and I'm managing editor at The Spinoff. This podcast, like so much of the work we do at The Spinoff, is made possible by the support of our members. To find out more about The Spinoff members and how you can help us keep producing quality, independent journalism, visit members.thespinoff.co.nz today.
Okay, those are some hot takes from Bionica, and I love them.
They were gorgeous.
So let's just take this right to the end now.
Let's
so
talk
we've,
the lip sync.
so we've got Bionica. Oh my gosh, no, Bionica wasn't there.
Monica's not in it, but she is in the show in my mind.
We have Maxi and Scarlett going head to head on the runway.
There's a little bit of discussion before where they're like, who's going to be in the bottom? Up to me, I'm like, it was pretty clear who was going to be in the bottom.
Yes,
I
I
don't
thought
think
Scarlett's
Rachel's gonna be there.
looks were very lackluster in my
They were
opinion.
lackluster.
And
The makeup job was not great.
it wasn't good. It was an interesting
Yeah.
one because I thought maybe she would have pulled through, but she gave her sister the same lip as her, and it wasn't very
Not
flattering.
work
No,
on her
no,
face.
no, no.
And the way that Carl was absolutely transformed. Brad, his real life partner, a beautiful part of this episode.
Yes.
Still very much looked like Brad to me.
I would agree with Bionica in saying that Scarlett was a better lip syncer, maybe. Like, embodied the song and did some good dancing.
It's hard when someone looks she looked like Kylie to me.
Yes.
And that really helps in a lip sync, doesn't it?
Because you're just looking, what are you looking for in a lip sync? Like, you are looking for stunts, but you're also looking for that, like, click of the song landing in the Queen and it transporting you somewhere, and which is what Maxi did when she...
With absolutely everybody.
Yeah, you were like, she is absolutely everyone, and she's singing the song, and I'm like transported. And she was still doing that though. Like, she's an amazing lip sync. And lip syncs with a lot of love and light in her.
Yeah, and just really feeling the lyrics and every beat.
But Scarlett's really giving it her all.
Scarlett looks like you're at the Kylie show. Yeah. And that's pretty hard to beat.
So we unfortunately say goodbye to Maxi.
Devastating.
And
before we go, we've got a quick chat with the wonderful one and only Maxi Shield.
Oh my God. Between links and speakers and earpods and bloody...
So good.
We got it happening. Kia ora, Maxi. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
So good.
So good.
An honour to be able to meet you virtually right now.
Across the Dutch.
Across the Dutch.
Honestly, Maxi, I doubt that you've listened to our podcast, but I would say 90% of it has been talking about how much we love Maxi Shield.
We love Maxi Shield. We are so upset that you had to say goodbye to Drag Race this week.
My ears were burning, so obviously they were yours.
That's it.
You know what?
No, you go.
You go.
Sorry. Episode 6 out of 8 isn't bad,
Nah.
and although I'm the was it I got 6th position, but do we count when the garbage comes in and they forget a little bit at the bottom and it pops out? So maybe I'll take 5th.
I'd take 5th.
I'd take 5th. You beat Art Simona now in our eyes.
Tell me, how was
she was eliminated once.
Exactly.
It's just a ghost that's still there, that's all.
How was your Drag Race experience, Maxi?
To be absolutely honest, it was so hard.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was when they say the Olympics of drag, when you watch something on TV and you're like, if I'm watching MasterChef, it's like, oh, come on, it's a cake. Just make the bloody cake. Come on. Why are you crying? This is stupid. Oh my God, I will never, ever, ever say another word about any bachelorette that I see.
Is that a little hint as to what reality show you'll be on next?
Oh God, no! Oh my God, my partner and I, when we get a little bit frazzled, we call ourselves Frazzolina Jolie, and I was literally Frazzolina Jolie from Woe to Go.
Your next Snatch character, Frazzolina. So, because it's the thing about drag, right? I mean, because how often would you say you're doing drag a week?
Well, see, I'm very lucky, 4 to 5 times a week.
Whoa.
So, and then going into Drag Race, because you get a limited time for makeup. Karen had done drag, I think, 2 or 3 times last year because of the pandemic.
Oh wow!
And I was so lucky because we had limited seating, but I had a venue that we could have a seated show, and our venues were really, really good to us. So I was lucky that I was doing sort of makeup so I could throw something on quickly. But these sort of poor Melbourne bitches,
they're like,
where are my wigs?
Exactly.
They're like, I burnt everything in the 4th lockdown.
I mean, because that's what I really there's so many things I loved about you on the show, but one of the things I really truly enjoyed was I just felt like you brought this quality of drag that we haven't seen in so long on the show, and it's like, this queen does drag a lot, and you can tell. And I specifically loved watching you lip sync, because it's like you lip sync as if you've recorded the song.
Yeah, you like the thing, especially when you pop the microphone out of your sleeve.
Yeah, let's talk about that microphone moment. I mean, when did that get planted up the sleeve? When did you know you were going to pull it out? When did you have the idea?
Well, see, I always had the idea. It was a bit of a tribute to my sisters in Bali. All the Bali drag queens over there have these glittered microphones, and I'd seen them about 10 years ago, and I was like, bitch, I'm stealing that. That is a camp gimmick.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So I think I was skating near the bottom most of my life, but I think it was the Bogan prom. I had it in my bum bag. because I thought, oh shit, these young girls, and I didn't need it. So I thought, nah, this one I'm going to need. So it was folded up in the skirt of my dress because, I was up against Extendera, who's 22 and fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I turned 47 on Tuesday.
Happy birthday.
Exclusive here on the podcast.
Speaking birthday news.
I'm from the country. I'm old enough to be her grandmother.
It was amazing that Drag Race now, 15 years on television, first time anyone's pulled out a microphone in a lip sync, and you get to be the first person.
No. Well, we have to fact check that because the fans definitely check the facts, for God's sakes. Oh my Jesus Christ. So there was one, but it was on the Thai Drag Race, so it was just Thai Drag Race. It wasn't a drag race that RuPaul was hosting and there.
Right.
So
Ru had never seen it before.
No, Ru had never seen it before, or Michelle. So we do have to say that our Thai girls definitely were the first.
The pioneers.
Of course, because they are next level, the Thai girls. They're incredible.
Out of this
So
world.
they also, if anyone watches the Thai Drag Race, there's one that sets herself on fire. It is incredible. Watch. It's crazy. These girls are lunatics, but look amazing. So,
what was your highlight of the experience?
I think making connections with the other girls. I work closely with Coco, so we're sort of sisters, and that was great to have. But, a lot of the other girls, although sort of the drag community is quite close-knit, is we don't sort of we see each other over Mardi Gras maybe. And, a lot of times the words that come out of your mouth over Mardi Gras is a bit different to normal talking.
Chewing your mouth off, yeah.
Yeah. So it was great, especially the New Zealand queens. I got to make a connection with Electra through the dreadful singing and choreography challenge. Don't laugh, you bastards.
You were great.
You were good in that. You were good in that.
We honestly could not be
recording
bigger. We could not be bigger fans of you. Like,
you
honestly.
gesturing to get the other queens to pick you up. I was like, this
Hilarious.
is iconic.
Sliding across the floor, like
was
some could say, as
great.
one. I just saw it as a fantastic dramatic choice.
Yeah.
I didn't know there wasn't much left else to do. Like Michelle said, oh, you sort of got on the floor and just sat there. I said, it was one count of 8. What else are you supposed to do?
Light yourself on fire.
You should have lit yourself on fire. That's it.
Those bloody Thai girls are bloody incredible. But I made a connection with Electra because she is, although she didn't get a good edit on that episode, she was incredible. I've done dance shows before, but I'm not, a split jump in the air and land on your face sort of thing. So, she was absolutely incredible. Anita and I shared sort of a makeup station.
Oh, cool.
So I made a connection with Anita there. So she is, she's bubbly and fantastic, but she got rude side that one.
Yeah, she's filthy.
She slides it in.
Dirty bitch. And then when Anita got booted off, the kidder and I sort of made friends over the pastry section that we got before we started filming. So all the other girls would do their confessionals.
That's an exclusive, by the way. There is a pastry
section.
Coming in now.
Well, this was our little snacks for breakfast sort of thing. And Kidder and I'd be sitting around and she'd be saying, oh, they've got exquisite quiche today. I was like, oh, really? And we'd sort of just be, cookie monstering it. And then people would come in and go, oh, what's on the pastry section? So, oh, just bran muffins.
We were talking to Reese about how Reese Nichols, that you were one of the queens that he's seen a lot and used to go to a lot of your shows. Was it weird to see him on the judging side giving you feedback, even though he's a tiny little twink?
Well, see, I love Reese's comedy. And I've always been sort of comedy-based for my performances. So anything he says, I took his critique as equal to RuPaul's and Michelle's because, he's fucking hilarious. He's so fabulous. And and it was, when you're in the bottom and you look up and he gives you that glance, it's almost a sister glance, you'll be fine, just kill it. I've seen you before.
Yeah.
I know you can do this. And, it was It was like having, dare I say, a mole on the on the judging panel. In that, he understood the references, and but it was great. I'm so happy he was a part of it.
I just felt like I loved it, your like little exit speech as you left the stage, and I felt like just like the way that you sort of like, it was so celebratory of who you are, and I felt like who you were trying to represent on that show, and I feel like you really did everyone so proud, and also I was obsessed with your bogan prom look. It was
so gorgeous.
It was like, and it was the only one that felt like truly bogan in my eyes. Like it was that woman had a gambling addiction.
But we know that woman, don't we? And I grew up I went to primary school in central Queensland, and there was always that, I did Americanize it a little bit with the edibles, but the woman that didn't go to her B&S ball or didn't go to her formal that we have in Australia, she would have turned up and she would have said, "No, it's okay, I'll take the kids. I'll take the kids." And you'd get in the car and she'd say, "Open the bag at the back. We've got Bacardi Breezes, melon. You love watermelon Bacardi Breezes." And I knew that woman.
Yeah,
I knew her, and she wore her fancy stuff direct from the 80s. And it's like, Mum, it's 2021. Don't. And, she'd have that little bit of guts hanging out, wouldn't she? And
I'll also say
nails.
your
drag family
resemblance look. I thought, and my partner, it was his favourite. He was like, "Now that is amazing." And I thought it was a full fashion look. Like, it was so beautiful.
Two gorgeous sisters.
So you see a bit of leotard. Who cares?
It was a tiny bit. It was whenever you got a critique, it was one of those things that you sort of, Michelle said, "Oh, so, a wig would have been better because, the back of the neck." And you thought, "Oh, fuck, I know that."
Yes.
And she said, "Oh, you could see a little bit of the black bra." And I was like, "Oh, shit, I know that." And the whole time it was such a pressure cooker that these tiny little details that normally, like, a young queen walks in and I'd be like, "Your lace is dirty. That's gross."
Yes.
That sort of thing that I would constantly be like, no, we can't go on like this. We need to iron our dresses. Come on, girls. You look stupid.
Yeah, right.
Now, Max,
you just don't.
Maxie, now that you're 47, now that Drag Race Down Under is over, what is next for you? Where can people come see you? What's the plan?
In my sights, I want to do a cooking show.
Oh,
yes.
I want to do a cooking show, but I want to. It's going to be like maybe a lifestyle, dare I say, show where we chat to LGBTQIA chefs. And find their relationship between food, because a lot of times families may not be the most positive, but there's always Nan used to make bolognese, and we always used to sit around and we used to eat that, and she'd smoke over the stove when she did it, and I always found that no matter how crazy or strange your family is, food has always brought something together. So hopefully that
I'm
is
crying. I love it.
My goal, as well as why can't we have an older plus size, cover girl on Vogue? God damn it!
Yeah.
Oh please.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I love that in your bogan look.
Yes.
Okay, one burning question before we go. What was your talent going to be for next week? I
was going to do telling a yarn.
Oh, wow.
And so telling a story about me growing up in the 80s as a gay person, and the television shows that I used to watch that made me gay. So A Country Practice,
I love
Prisoner.
That. Right.
Wow.
Aerobics Oz style. And then at the end I was going to do an Aerobics Oz style routine.
Wow. Amazing. Well, you'll just have to say that for one of your live shows. Yeah. Maxie, what an honour to meet you.
We love you.
We love you so much.
Such a queen. Please come to Auckland so we can come watch you.
We're going to...
Yes.
Spark Arena.
Girls Down Under.
Girls Down Under.
Right? Queens Down Under, is it? Oh, shit, I don't know. Just download the song, for God's sakes. I'm coming over to visit the girls as well at some point, so I can't wait.
Oh, brilliant.
Gorgeous.
An honour to talk to you today. Much love See you later.
Thank you
Beautiful
so
day.
much.
Bye, Maxie.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Drag Race Down Under the Covers with Chris and Eli.
Please subscribe to the Real Pod, review it, send it all you love, and you know what? We'll talk to you again next week, honey boos.
Thank you to everyone. Bye. Love you all. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
Talofa lover, I'm Madeline Chapman, editor at The Spin-Off. If you have the means, consider supporting our high-quality journalism by becoming a Spin-Off member. Sign up now at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
The Spin-Off Podcast Network.